Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel, brother, from the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a lesson through the Spirit for what's really be edifying. This is from the People's Voice, and they have a lot of prophetic articles according to end-time prophecy, end-time events, which we here at the Great Millstone, we go into a lot of prophecy, okay? Because according to Revelation, the 19th chapter, 10th verse, it says that the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of what? Prophecy. So our main focal point is the prophecies of the scriptures, because the scriptures say that, you know, the captive hastens for the release day, roughly paraphrasing, for the days of release, and we're ready to get out of our captivity. So when we're seeing things like this come to pass, and you know, enemies making moves like Esau, Edom, he's moving real funny and finicky. You know what I'm saying? And this whole new world order ordeal that he's thinking that he's gonna get up and running. Hey, he's juggernauting through policies and, you know, particular legislation to get things moving, man, because ultimately he has a short time. So, hey, this article goes into it. It says Pentagon unveils killer AI that can, it says, autonomously kill humans. And you know what? It's so funny because, you know, brothers had mentioned this in their lessons. I've even done lessons on AI, you know, pretty much all this year and last year. And, you know, we have always speculated. I'm like, one day these things are going to have the capacity to unload on people. Okay. And they showed you in these movies from iRobot, you got Chappie, you got Terminator, you got the Matrix movies. You have this movie called, I think, Monsters of Men, when they deployed like these 4 robots down in like, I believe it was like down in whatever Asian country that was. It may have been like out there in Vietnam or something like that. I'm not sure. Not Vietnam, but out there. It was somewhere in the Asian countries, man. But it looked like they could have been like Vietnamese people, you know, Asian people, man. And they deployed 4 robots out there to pretty much police the people, and one went AWOL, and they had to pretty much band together to stop this robot. But ultimately, these things are killing instruments, and these particular things are going to be set towards you jakes, because those automatron, or those automated robots, or those AI robots, which stands for artificial intelligence, they have the ability to read and scan you, because they have what they call biometric scans located within the mainframes. Okay, so they can easily pick up on your biometrics if you're linked up to the society. Okay, if you have any type of smart device or anything like Google or Apple or any type of thing connecting you to the grid, they're gonna have some particular information on you for the most part. But when you get coded, another way of saying chipped, like Demolition Man went into the whole thing of being coded, which means chipped. If you're completely coded, they're gonna know exactly who you are. Okay, from blood type to height to eye color to nationality, and they're going to be given orders or programmed to have orders to eliminate certain people. Okay, hence Jacob's trouble. So it says the Biden regime has unveiled new killer AI robots that can make autonomously choices on whether to kill human targets, according to a disturbing report by the New York Times. Okay, and when it says the choice on whether to kill human targets, those things are programmed to target you jakes. Okay, they're programmed to target you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Why? Because you're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. And it's Esau's ultimate goal to eradicate our entire nation, man. Okay, or just involuntary enslave you. So it says countries such as United States, and this is why the scriptures refer to Esau as being the hammer of the whole earth. Okay, because like we went into it on camp Saturday, a hammer is an instrument of force that beats anything into subjection. And that's what Esau is, man. But this military, which is known as his teeth, okay, his military, and this is part of his sword right here. So it's not a far-fetched thing to know that he have these weapons of destruction to you jakes. So it says countries such as United States, China, and Israel are developing a lethal AI that would be given power to kill citizens without the need for human approval. Okay, and you see that. Now, I read an article about 2 weeks ago. It was basically because of the protests regarding this whole Palestinian conflict and Israelis. They basically passed legislation, or they're thinking about, or some way, some form, they're talking about passing legislation for officers to be able to kill rioters or people that cause insurrections or peaceful protesters. You see, they can just put you to death on sight, meaning they're gonna equip the police or law enforcement with weapons to gun people down in the middle of the streets. And that comes at no other perfect time than now, when all hell has been ready to break loose. You got this border crisis with these migrants crossing over daily. Okay, you got the citizens or those migrants that's able to police the American citizens. That came out about a couple of months ago. You know, so we in those times, man. And it says, according to critics, the deployment of killer robots would be a dystopian development, entrusting life and death battlefield choices to soulless machines with zero empathy. And that's the point. You see, like it was a movie called what movie was that, man? Like Terminator, The Matrix. The Matrix goes into AI. Minority Report, iRobot. You know what I'm saying? Like even in a new Mission Impossible movie, they said we're fighting an impossible enemy that's constantly getting powerful by the second. We can't stop it. Which they was going into AI. Now we knew what they were talking about in hindsight of spiritual, but basically they conferred AI on the power along with the Most High, because it's a power you can't see, and it's constantly learning. And that's what that movie Megan was about. You know, the AI was being programmed and learning quicker than what the human can stop. Okay, so if these robots is able to pick up on certain vibrations and they know about a certain demographic, these things are going to be programmed to act biasly towards you Israelites, man. And that's really what it's all about. All right. But it says here, this is really one of the most significant. Matter of fact, no. It says several countries are pressing the United Nations for a binding resolution prohibiting the use of AI killer drones. However, the U.S. is among a handful of nations, including Russia, Australia, and Israel, who are opposing any such move. And come on, man, we know Esau is with the smoke. Okay. It says this is really one of the most significant infection points of humanity. Alexander Nitt, Australia's chief negotiator on an issue, said in an interview. It says, what's the role of human beings in the use of force? It says it's an absolutely fundamental security issue, a legal issue, and an ethical issue. But it says, but according to the notice released earlier this year, the Pentagon is working on deploying a swarm of thousands of AI-enabled drones. Wow. Okay. So what I did was, and this is a pretty long article. I don't think I'm gonna really get to the bottom of it. This is pretty long. I don't want to spend all my time reading it. But nonetheless, it is good information to have. So what I did was I looked up 13 movies about central artificial intelligence, and of course, Terminator was on the first. Well, Terminator was like the number one. Okay, because Terminator is really, I believe, set like in a future time, which I found out that the Matrix and the Terminator movies are connected. But it says some people love artificial intelligence and or AI, and some are terrified by it. It says these movies using sentient AI to tell great timeless stories. But it says robots are a common factor in many of sci-fi movies, and as they always seem like something futuristic society will have. And of course, as society progresses, there are some real-life robots now, maybe even within your own home, like Alexa, Siri, you know what I'm saying? But it says, while we may have numerous examples of artificial intelligence nowadays, one thing we still haven't discovered, for better or worse, is making these robots actually sentient, something we only still see in science fiction. Okay, so let's look up the word sentient. Feeling, being able to perceive or feel things, real. And that's what this article that I'm reading is going into. These are being made sentient, man, meaning they have the ability to choose to some degree. Okay, because one thing about a robot, an AI robot, is since it's ever learning and picking up on the environment, what happens
Guardians
is
of
they
the Galaxy
pre-program
Volume
it
3
to
is
be able
finally
to.
here, so let's talk about the...
They program it to pre-learn things, or they program it to be biased, and then from that point, it chooses and it picks its biases based on how the programmer programmed it. Like if it was programmed to hate Negroes, then it's gonna pick up on things in the programming to make it even more biased towards Jake. Okay, because these things had to be created. They didn't just create themselves. Okay, but it says here, iRobot, which we've all saw that. Okay, it says that took place in the year 2035. You got Chappie. All right, we got Avengers, Age of Ultron, which was dealing with cyborgs. You have I Am Mother. Okay, you have also Ex Machina, Blade Runner, You also got a movie called Her, which I never seen that. Joaquin Phoenix. You have Moon. The Matrix, of course, just one of the bigger ones. It's a classic AI movie. It says the film follows Neo, a computer programmer who soon discovers and questions what the Matrix is, as he's discovered it several times. He is contacted by Trinity and Morpheus upon deciding to learn more instead of returning to his life, and he discovered that humans have been enslaved by machines and harvested for the bioelectricity, and the world they were living in just was a simulation that brains were forced to run through. Wow. Sounds familiar, right? A Space Odyssey, Archive, Wall-E, the Terminator, which being number one, okay? The cyborg assassin. And that's the one that we're really familiar with. So this tells us right here, man, that this man is really on a rampage. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me look something up real quick. The scriptures goes into his teeth, you know, which is his military, man. Okay, this is the book of Psalms 57, and I'm gonna start at verses 4. It says, "My soul is among lions, and I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of men whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword." Right, man. The teeth and arrows goes into that military action, that military, man, because that's how Esau was able to subjugate the nations through the U.S. military, or through the NATO and the EU, and also his money, man, his monetary system. Okay, Esau has monetized, or he has weaponized the monetary system, because basically he could just show up in your country with the U.S. dollar, and if you don't play ball with him, hey, he could just out you. Okay, it says, "My soul is among lions, I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of men whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword." Man, okay. Psalms 58 and 6. It says here, "Break their teeth, O Yahweh, in their mouth break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord." This is the military, man. You know, and we have to be in the soul spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Because the scriptures say that he gnashed on him with his teeth. Matter of fact, the wicked plotted against the just and gnashed upon him with his teeth, man. You know, your police force, your SWAT teams, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, Jake is getting kicked in through random raids. You know, it's just crazy. Jake getting gunned down by cops. That's an everyday thing for Jake, man. All right, so we got to be in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Let me see. As a bird. Snare. Yep, Psalms 124. And I'm going to start at verses, let's start at verses 2. It says, "If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, when man rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick, and their wrath was kindled against us." And when you go into this is exactly what this is going into. All right, these robots are going to be used on people that don't want to get down with the New World Order, especially with all the rioting and the looting that's going around from this whole Palestinian conflict. Hey, man, they're getting ready to come down with great wrath. Even Esau is getting ready to be a victim in his own society, man, because not only are they going to come after Jake, they're going to come after anybody that opposes the NWO, from you Christian rebel groups to you KKK, all you people that form some type of succession against the government, man. That's why they're going to use it, because they know that the people outnumber them. And hey, at the end of the day, shit, robots, they ain't going to complain about having blood on their hand. They just going to gun you down. All right. So going back to the precept here, it says here, "If it had not been Yahweh who was on our side when men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick when their wrath was kindled against us. Then the waters had overwhelmed us, and the stream had gone over our soul. Then the proud waters have gone over our soul. But blessed be the Lord who have not given us as a prey to their teeth," man, which is this. Okay, we're going to escape through this, and this is why we're going to need spiritual power, man. Like, I can't see how Bashim Yahweh Shai allowing this man to come with all this power, and yet we just sitting ducks, we get beat down, we get drugged through the streets, we getting thrown out of our house, getting thrown in prison, getting jumped up by lynch mobs, man. What kind of life is that for men of the Most High? Even though certain brothers are going to have to go through being put to death in this thing. But overall, it's just like, we know that the Lord deals with balance. So if the left hand is making moves like this, the right hand has to definitely meet up and qualify those standards, man. Like, I'm a firm believer that the Lord is going to give us some type of power. Fucking AI, man. You can't do nothing with a rope. Man, come on, bro. Like, you just a natural flesh and blood human. You get tired. You probably got gout. You know what I'm saying? You having digestive problems. You ain't in full capacity to fight this thing, man. You gonna need some power from on high to do away with this, to defend yourself, man, and hope for elect. Because in the coming times, people are gonna be with us. They're gonna be dependent on us. We gonna have to make proper moves, man. We can't slip up through the spirit. And then we gonna have this too. It's gonna be a lot to deal with, man. But hey, as time progresses, the Lord is gonna, He's building us up for it. But it says in August, it says U.S. Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks, of course it's a damn woman, stated that technology such as AI-controlled drone swarms would allow the U.S. to balance China's manpower, Liberation Army, numerical superiority in weapons and manpower. And don't get it twisted, they have this already. Okay, like it was a podcast I was listening to. And basically the guy was stating it was something called the Black Awakening or something like that. And he said that they had like millions of android robots or AI waiting in line for Christian blood, meaning that these things are set up against the elect. Because Esau knows something that we don't realize. He's knowing that, hey, eventually if I make a move, these men are going to become activated. How, we don't know. Okay, it's still a mystery to find out how the Lord is just going to unlock that power in us to be able to have a standard or some fighting chance. But according to the human psyche, it's just like, man, like we threw out here. But hey, the Lord is all powerful, man. Okay. But it says, we are counted to plot masses with the mass of our own, but ours will be much harder to plan for, or to hit harder, or to harder to beat, she said. It says Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall told the Times that AI drones would need to have the capacity or the capability, Slakia, to make lethal decisions while under human supervision. Individual decisions versus not doing individual decisions is the difference between winning and losing. And you're not going to lose, he said. This man is out of his goddamn mind, man. Okay, and one thing he ain't gonna bank on because he's so proud is that his own machine turning against him. We've seen this countless of times when Esau attempted to control AI and then it turned against him. I can very well see the Lord turn his army against this man, because he's proud like that. But it says, according to the New Scientist, Ukraine utilized AI-controlled drones in its conflict with Russia in October, although it is unknown that the drones caused human casualties. And we found out that those Ukrainian soldiers, or those soldiers, man, it was something weird about them. Like they was taking full slugs and getting back up, man. Okay, it was a lot of strange shit going on in the Ukraine that they're not reporting on. From overly chariot activity, or who Esau called UFOs, super soldiers or some type of serum soldiers, niggas getting gunned down, taking shots that'll put any man down and getting back up. Like, what are we up against, man? But it says here, Start Russell, a senior AI scientist at the University of California in Berkeley, and others were screened into the video on Monday during an event held by Campaign to Stop Killer Robots at the United Nations Convention on Conventional Weapons. It says the campaign issues a warning. Machines don't see us as people, just another piece of code to be processed and sorted. From smart homes to the use of robot dogs by police enforcement, AI technologies and automated decision-making are now playing a significant role in our lives. Yep. And you people are fucking dumb, man, because, hey, at a whole time you was so-called living free and being Americans and paying your taxes, they've been taking your taxpayers' money and creating an army to put you down, man. You know what I'm saying? While they've been giving you the illusion of freedom. Oh, well, you got a good job, you got 2 cars, and you got a picket fence. You doing good, despite them raising up taxes on you every year. You people are stupid, and you allowed it, man. And this is why this is going to be your judgment. And it says, and at the extreme end of the spectrum of automaton like killer robots, okay, it says killer robots don't just appear, recreate them, right? And the campaign added, and if we allow this dehumanization, we will struggle to protect ourselves, from machine decision making in other areas of our lives. It says we need to prohibit autonomous weapon systems that would be used against people to prevent this slide to digital dehumanization. And bro, it's gonna get out of hand. Okay, we gonna see some real strange shit out here. You know what I'm saying? People think that the Bible just a fairy tale book, man. The scripture's gonna shed light on these things, man. Okay, Esau don't make these movies for nothing. You see? So this man is a devil, bro. This man has no balance. He has to be stopped. All right, this is the book of Psalms. What is it? Psalm 17. This is the book of Psalm 17. And I'm going to start at verses Let's start at verses 8. It says, keep me as the apple of thy eye, and hide me under the shadow of thy wings, from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. That's E. Okay, like this man has technology. Like bro, I was reading in like it was like this book, like a weapon. It was probably like back in 2013. I was reading this article, man, about these weapons they got. It was like, and this is an old weapon. Like they can literally program a bullet to curve and shoot around the damn corner, man. Like it's nuts, man. And they got like this bump stock. Like if you was in cover, you can flip the bump stock to curve it around a corner, and it has a trigger on the bump stock, which can ignite the trigger on the gun at a corner angle shot, and you can pick a motherfucker off, man. It's like, wow. So it's like, even if you duck it from cover, the gun was, I mean, they gonna shoot the gun? You know, so man, it's gonna be a bloodbath out here. And Jake, they keep playing games, man. This Christian nonsense, Jake don't know what's coming. And it says, from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. They are enclosed in their own fat, and with their mouth they speak proudly, man, okay? Because, hey, the guy's telling them straightforward. Like, look, this is going to work against us eventually, and it is. But Esau was so proud to the point you always have opposition in his cabinet. You know, in his rulership, there's nothing but division, because you got some Edomites that's not cool with this. You know what I'm saying? But that's the plan of the elites. They don't care, okay? As long as they can hide and escape and duck the judgment, they don't care about these people. Okay, they want everybody to take each other out, man, so they can come back and reign supreme and build over. And it says here, now they have compasses on our steps, and they have their eyes bowing down to the earth, man. Because remember when those, and I think it was Monsters of Man, when those drones were deployed into the deserted area, they deployed them shits to oversee that province. And it says, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places, arise, O Lord, and disappoint him, and cast him down, and deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, man. Okay, and Esau is the sword of the Heavenly Father. And we're seeing that in this article about artificial intelligence. Okay, something that you other Israelite groups are not teaching about. Okay, you don't have other Israelites that go into this type of information because they're too busy trying to make money and get their worldly image up and get their accolades. Okay, these men don't care about the flock of the Lord. Okay, they're just worried about looking important to a group of people that don't believe anyway. All right, so this is the book of Daniel 12, and I'm going to start at verses 4. It says, but, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Okay, going into your information age, which we're reading about now. All right, it says the creation and employment of such autonomous weapons such as drones, tanks, and automatic machine guns will be disasters for human security and freedom, according to Russell, and the window for halting their development is rapidly closing. It says the technology illustrated in the farm is simply an integration of existing capabilities. It is not science fiction. In fact, it is easier to achieve than self-driving cars, which require far higher standards of performance, Russell said. But it says the campaign to ban killer robots also points that because AI-powered machines are relatively cheap to manufacture, critics fear that autonomous weapons could be mass-produced and fall into the hands of rogue nations. But you are a rogue nation, man. People going to use, they're using it to defend it from you. You're the problem. You creating it. Okay, but it says into the hands of rogue nations or terrorists who can use them to suppress populations and wreak havoc, as the movie portrays. Okay, check this out. This article here.
Autonomous weapons explained. International discussions on autonomy in weapons systems are underway. But as technology rapidly develops, legal safeguards are not in place. Developments are happening on land, at sea, and in the air. Despite the diversity and complexity of systems, it is the functionality of the weapon, rather than form, that poses the threat. Using sensors and calculations, it is a machine that determines where and when an attack should occur. A machine does not perceive the world as people do. It relies only on reductionist data. In a simple form, we have seen this in the landmine, where if the sensor detects a certain pressure, it detonates with no concept or care for what or who triggers an explosion. New, more complex weapons might use multiple sensors analyzing heat, shape, and motion to determine if something is a target. but they cannot understand or evaluate the whole picture in human terms, and they cannot take legal or moral responsibility for their actions. Machines are tools for achieving human goals, and people must be held responsible for their use. International discussions on autonomous weapons need to address two key problems. How do we maintain human control? And can we accept machines deciding to kill people? Human control requires a user to adequately understand how a system will function in the context where it will be used. This means understanding the system itself, how it works, and setting boundaries as to where and when it will operate. Understanding how the system functions. What will trigger the system to apply force? Might it attack an ambulance when it was supposed to attack a tank? Could it attack a fishing boat instead of a frigate? Although AI can calculate solutions to complex problems, it can make it harder for the user to understand how the system works. For example, if machine learning systems can change their own parameters and programming after activation, human control and moral responsibility cannot be maintained. Without this, we can't apply the rules that are intended to protect civilians in conflict. Limiting space and time. Over a wider area and a longer period of time, the context gets more unpredictable. There might be more objects that could falsely trigger an attack, or civilians and protected buildings next to an intended target. As time passes, the circumstances will change. Programming systems to process people as targets for death or injury by a machine reduces us to mere data points. Deliberately or accidentally, it risks discriminatory profiling based on indicators of gender, age, skin color, or other factors. We become patterns without context. We become objects. While autonomy could have some advantages, there are many risks. We must not lose human accountability and human dignity. How we engage with autonomous weapons as a society will shape our relationship with technology, AI, and automated decisions for years to come. We have an opportunity to create international law that safeguards meaningful human control and counters digital dehumanization.
See, and that's the thing with this devil, man. He always want to control something, man. That's that pride. You know what I'm saying? That's pride right there. He just swept down. He can control everything. Like, dude, like, all right. But this man has to be stopped. Okay? At this point, he has to be stopped. Because that right there, that alone right there is more powerful than any human military you can really fathom, man. You know what I'm saying? You can have 1 million soldiers of flesh and blood. They can't do nothing against AI-powered robots. I guarantee you, if you put 100,000 drones up against 1 million man army, them drones gonna come out on top because they're programmed. They can't feel pain. You know, and these things, man, dude, like, we really in some strange times, man. That's why the scripture said that the righteous will suffer straits. So, hey, man, but it says a treaty banning autonomous weapons will prevent large-scale manufacturing of technology. It says it will also provide a framework to police nations working on the technology and spread the dual-use device and software such as quadcopters, target recognition algorithms. Now, they already got this. Like, Boston Dynamics shows that. All right, they show the robot doing parkour. You know what I'm saying? They show one shooting around, okay, mimicking the cop. It's crazy. It says professional codes of ethics should also disallow the development of machines that can decide to kill a human. But in 2017, a Black Mirror, it was something called Metalhead. It says killer robot dogs roam the earth, and I gotta watch that again, and relentlessly pursue human beings who are detected by drones as a threat. Come on, man, you got robot dogs. That's bad enough. You know, check this out, Metalhead. And this is what the brother's always going into. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna play that because I don't want to get a copyright strike. Even though I think I would be okay, but just showing you here. It says the creator of the memorable episode, Charlie Brooker, explained his thinking behind his vision of the robocalypse is an interview with Entertainment Weekly. It says Brooker was asked about his inspiration behind the story, which interviewer framed a cross between Boston Dynamic videos and on YouTube, crossed with Night of the Living Dead, bro. Okay, and bro, like I've been doing videos on Boston Dynamic for years. Check this. And actually out there in Oakland, they actually had police dogs with snipers equipped to them, just like that. It had sniper rifles on the back. And they said they wanted to deploy them on Jake in the earth because the crime was so bad. They was literally trying to get that passed. Okay, and it says that's actually scarily correct, Brooklyn said it. It was from watching Boston Dynamic videos, but crossed with, have you seen the film All Is Lost? You know, and he went into basically, just a little history on it, man. You know, but nah, this is a crazy article. Like, hey, right here, LAPD deploys robot dog. Check this out.
Galena, thank you. Breaking news right now, an hours-long standoff with an armed man on a Metro bus finally coming to an end. Assignment manager Mark Liu is at the desk showing us how this high-tech tool was called in to help. Mark, pretty incredible.
Yeah, it really was. You know, the standoff lasted for nearly 3 hours. It closed a Hollywood intersection all morning. LAPD finally taking the armed suspect into custody, as you said, after deploying a very unique piece of robotic equipment. Let me show you how this all came to an end. Our breaking news photographer was there. This is the suspect you see there, a man in his 20s, finally off the Metro bus, about to be taken into custody. This started about 3:45 this morning at the intersection of Melrose and Western in Hollywood, when another passenger noticed this man sleeping in the back of the bus with a handgun at his feet. Well, the bus driver pulled over. Everybody except this man got off, and the driver called LAPD. What followed was a long operation where SWAT tried to wake this man up and get him off the bus. You can see he finally got down on the ground, surrendered, and was taken into custody. LA officers did recover a semi-automatic handgun at the scene, but LAPD headquarters says they used a very specialized piece of equipment to bring this all to an end. Our breaking news photographer Mike McGregor got a shot of it. There it is. This is called SPOT, or more officially, the Quadruped Unmanned Ground Vehicle. It's a robot that was purchased for about $278,000 this year by the LA Police Foundation and donated to the LAPD. It's built by a company called Boston Dynamics. It's remote controlled by a SWAT team member. It's got a camera and a robotic arm on it. This is one of the very first times we've seen this robot up close and being used in the field to resolve a situation. It's a remarkable piece of technology. LAPD headquarters did say in a tweet that it was used to sort this all out on the bus. They say they used it to approach the suspect instead of having officers do it, to keep them and community members out of harm's way. That is the very latest here from the desk. I'll send it back to you.
Come on, man. And these stupid ass people that's sitting here and not thinking nothing about it. Okay, that's cute. Come on, that's some strange shit right there, man. Okay, damn police dog. And don't think that all your police departments in these major cities don't have them. Don't think they ain't got them here in Kansas City, man. All the money they invested in this wicked ass city. Hey, Chicago, you better believe they have armies of these things since they've been militarizing the police, man. Any of you jakes that don't see it is because you're not trying to see it. All right, so this is the book of Ezekiel 21. And I'm going to start. It says, Parable of the Sword of the Lord, man. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel 21. And I'm going to start at verses, let's start at verses 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face towards Jerusalem and drop thy word towards the holy place. That shows you that he's a Jake. It says, drop thy word. Only you might talk like that. It says, drop thy word towards the holy place and prophecy against the land of Israel, and say to the land of Israel, thus says Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, and I will draw from my sword out of his sheath, and I will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked. Okay, and it says, seeing that I will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked, therefore shall my sword go forth out of my sheath, out of his sheath, against all flesh from the south to the north, that all flesh may know that I am Yahweh, have drawn forth my sword out of his sheath, it shall not return any more. But sigh therefore, thou son of man, with the breaking of thy loins, and with the bitterness sigh before thy eyes. And it shall be, when they say unto thee, wherefore sighest thou? That thou should answer, for tidings, because it cometh, and every heart shall melt, and all hands should be feeble, and every spirit shall faint, and all knees should be weak as water. And behold, it cometh, and it shall be brought to pass, says the Lord, because the Lord is going to bring holy hell to America and to parts of it and to the whole world, really. But you people in Babylon, you gonna get it the worst because you're the most proud. Okay, you extremely haughty, you're arrogant. Okay, and you've totally rejected the Heavenly Father. And guess what? The 2/3 of you, you're gonna get the worst end of the judgment. Because this is really going into you wicked jakes, man, into Israelites in general. But it says again, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, prophecy, and thus says the Lord, say a sword, a sharp sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It says, it contemneth the rod of my son is every tree, and he have given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. And the sword is sharpened, and it is furbished, and given into the hand of the slayer, man. And the slayer is you Edomites, man. Okay, the so-called white man. That's the slayer. And we going to find that out real soon when he comes down with great wrath. Revelation 12:12. It says this devil should come down with great wrath because he knoweth he have but a short time. So, Jake, man, stop playing games. You got to repent, man. Because if you don't, you're going to get caught up in this. Last precept, 2 Ezra 16. And I'm going to start at verses 70. It says, for there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Because the Lord's going to put a spirit on these devils, man. He's going to put a straight evil spirit. They're evil anyway, but he's going to activate that demon in them. They're going to be literally possessed, man. Okay? And it says, and they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. It says, for they shall waste and take their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. And they should be tried as the gold in the fire, man. So, yeah, man. We're going to have that spiritual power at all costs. This is getting ready to get real. But with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord, will you edify into the next lesson. Shalom.